This is a first. I've never had one guest as the entire hour of Talking Solutions. But there's so much good stuff coming out of 3 Square Food Bank. Dan Williams, COO, is with us. I know we got a lot of stuff yet to cover, but first, tell us, is it true 3 Square was not originally designed to be a food bank at all?
It was never going to be a food bank. It was going to be a congregate meal site or a solution to summer hunger for kids. It was the vision of Eric Hilton, the youngest son of Conrad Hilton, still on our board. Mind is like a steel trap, very sharp. It was his vision. He saw a news program about childhood hunger in the summer in southern Nevada, and he just couldn't wrap his head around it. Why? So 3 Square is his vision, and I'm sitting here today because of him, to figure out how to get kids fed in the summer. And when Feeding America learned of his energy around solving hunger, they tapped him on the shoulder and said, would you like to be the food bank? He had already formed the board. They were ready to go, and then they didn't know about food banking. Of course, he said yes. Experts from around the country flew into Vegas and got the food bank up and running. They did a fantastic job. Then as we continued to evolve and grow, we realized there was a lot more feeding just kids in the summer. We could do so much more. We have a beautiful kitchen, almost 5,000 square feet, including cooler space. Next year, we will be the #1 kitchen in the country under the Feeding America umbrella, producing fresh meals. We'll do over 2 million meals just out of that kitchen next year.
I've always felt that Las Vegas has this sense of we can do anything. I believe that this city can do anything. And when we do it big and we do it flashy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, check us out. We know how to do this. To think that this is also happening when it comes to 3 Square Food Bank, this is exciting. So if you are listening to Talking Solutions today with Dan Williams, the COO from the 3 Square Food Bank, and listening to what we're saying about the incredible accomplishments of 3 Square Food Bank and how this is not just a little project here in Las Vegas, this is something that's getting the attention of food banks and Feeding America, the organization, all across the country. Because here in Las Vegas, once again, we're doing it well. A little big and a little flashy, just like Las Vegas. We can do this. And you said to me when I met you a few weeks ago at Glazier's Food Marketplace at a 3 Square event with the Jersey Boys, you said something that I found very exciting. I know that I'm just approximating what you said, but out of all the places in the U.S. that can solve hunger, Las Vegas can be the first to actually achieve it.
Absolutely. The bottleneck is just cash. Again, 7 years ago, nobody knew how to run a food bank here. We wanted to do the right thing. We were playing from the heart and the soul, and we were going to get something solved and bring some awareness to this, but no clue on what the possible end result would be. Everybody, well, you can't solve hunger. Hunger is rooted inside poverty and unemployment. No, hunger is rooted in the sense that you have a lot of food and you have a lot of people who need it. Get it to them. That's solving hunger. And so that's the mentality that we took. It's a number. We got to get it effectively distributed. We can't just bring all this food and put it in the back of a football field. We're going to get it to the people who need it. So it was really identifying, well, where are these folks, right? We're one of the most innovative food banks. We just don't say, well, let's just get it in Clark County. We identify zip codes that have food insecurity, and we target those zip codes with partners or mobile grocery giveaways. When we look at agencies in the Northwest, we have agencies that would distribute less than 10,000 pounds a month. Those same agencies are doing 1.5 million pounds a year now. That's significant. And it's really because we could guarantee them the flow of the food. They can obviously guarantee the connectivity to food insecure folks because they're everywhere. So this was about a steady diet of fresh food given out. It was a number. So we looked at it as a business opportunity. Here's the need. Here's what it's going to take. Do we have our infrastructure right? Is the team the right team? Are they all on the right seat on the bus? Is the transportation efficient and effective? Is the warehousing that way? Check. Yes, we got that. We got that. We got that. And now it was, okay, why don't we have enough food in the valley yet? Well, we need money. And that's really it. So Feeding America actually came in and helped us. They brought experts from the national office and they supported us, came down here. We've done a lot of studies over the last 6 months. We did agency surveys. If we can get you 100,000 pounds of fresh produce a month, will you be able to distribute it? Yes, yes, yes. Everything's a yes. So we've actually initiated this produce pilot called Just in Time or Push Model, where we'll bring in hundreds of thousands of extra pounds of produce every month, and we will distribute that above and beyond what we're doing today. And the key to that is most of these agency partners, they don't have trucks. They don't have walk-in coolers at their facility. They have the ability to bring 200, 400, 500 people together. Can we bring them that food? The answer is yes. So we determine in collaboration with that agency partner, okay, you're going to bring 200, 400 people. They're going to be here on a Saturday. We're going to bring enough food to give everybody 10 pounds. So if it's 400 people, we're bringing 40,000 pounds of food. We've been very successful in this. Feeding America piloted this with 4 food banks in the country. I'm happy to say that we put out over 300,000 pounds in our first month in this pilot, leading the nation. This is something that absolutely works. All it needs now is really just scale. Let's scale it up. Let's put 1 million pounds out every month, and we've solved hunger.
Do you think maybe the resistance to somebody going, you can't solve hunger, is because in their mind, they're thinking hunger is a 365 kind of deal?
It is.
And that you take care of people for one meal, but it's going to come up all again tomorrow.
You're right.
It's an ongoing process.
You're right.
It never
it's
goes
always
away.
been that way, right?
Yes.
Since the beginning of time, there's been hungry people, and there's always going to be people that need help. But this is why we were put on this earth, to help people.
Mm-hmm.
You can ignore the problem, and you can be the naysayer, and you can say how the government should take care of it, or somebody else will take care of it. But when you look at 1 in 6 people in this country that are hungry, we only need 1 of the other 5 people to buck up and do something about it. And that's whether you give money or your time or your voice. Our CEO likes to say, give an hour, give a can, give your time. Because if we have enough people working to fight it, we're going to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have enough people yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's lack of awareness.
This awareness is great. We're talking today on Talking Solutions with Dan Williams, the COO of 3 Square Food Bank. We know that you've got access to so much food and produce, fruits and vegetables, the things that you wouldn't even have thought in previous years you could actually get from a food bank. But these are so important for us to have really good, nutritious, balanced meals. And people who live in places that we refer to as food deserts, which are real things, neighborhoods, even here in Las Vegas, where they don't have a market nearby that sells the nutritious items. Even if they had the money to go buy it, it would be difficult to get out and find it close to where they live. So you're bringing all of these things in for hungry people. It sounds like your whole distribution network has really grown and gotten perfected to where you have more than 300 different food pantries that rely on your services. They know where the people in need are. So it's their role to get those people together, communicate with 3 Square so that you can make sure you've got the food, you've got the logistics and the transportation to get the food
connected
to the food bank, to the people. It's a group process.
It's together.
Perfect.
That's why we say together we can feed everyone.
I like this. I love this idea. You're sitting here and we're talking and, I've got a smile on my face because this is
doable.
This is what we're supposed to do.
You're right. And those naysayers, they're not doing anything about it. Mm-mm. And this is why we are where we are today.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people that don't do anything about it.
Yes. No, and it's not that hard, really. If you're thinking that the only way that you can help solve hunger in our community, which is very solvable, that's an exciting thought. That was the thing that fired me up when I met you several weeks ago. It's like, are you kidding me? We can really fix this. We can not just make a big impact, but we can really solve this problem.
It's why I quit my job.
I understand now why you quit your job.
I quit my career because I saw something that I could give back to the community and I could make a difference. And again, I just approach it as a business. This is totally solvable. So the magnitude of hunger, I don't grasp a lot of times what we could do as a nation, or even as a world, but as a community here, we've gone from 0 meals to 33 million in 7 years. Just the last 2 years, we've gone from 18 million meals to 33 million meals. That doesn't happen because of one person. It happens because of a lot of people coming together. We just need a little bit more people.
I think we could help provide that. This is so exciting to think that 3 Square Food Bank and Las Vegas is a community. We are the shining light, the example that's going to be held up and basically a light shown on us for everybody else to say, look what they've done.
Wouldn't it be nice to get off the bottom of a list somewhere?
I love this. Las Vegas never does well in lists. That's usually what I'm talking about every weekend.
We're usually 51 on something, right?
I've hit mental health education. We can go over all kinds of things. Lots of things we need to fix, but it sounds like hunger in Southern Nevada is something seriously that we're making a huge impact on.
You give me chills when you say that.
Yeah. It's the truth. Now, as far as what other people can do, because we do need more involvement. Even though we have massive help coming from the community, we need a little more to tie this up into a neat little bow and say, yeah, we are handling this. We can do this. We are doing this. As far as what people can do, and I want to talk to you here in a moment about something that I'm very excited about, and that would be Restaurant Week. We'll get to that. We should all be doing that, and we'll get to that. But as far as the summer programs for kids, I saw things on television stations just within last few days, they were talking about the big start of the summer efforts to get the kids fed. So I know you're getting the word out about that. Here we are in the summertime where the needs for services and food product from Three Square Food Bank are at the highest. These kids need to be fed. A lot of times, too, even with the backpack weekend food programs that have been going on during the school year, I've got to believe that some of those items, I know how these kids would be. They'd be sharing that also with other people in their household. Because chances are, if they are not well fed enough on their own, other people in the same household suffer from the same situation.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We get surveys back where the child is sharing with the whole family.
I would.
And then we also hear where the kids are so hungry and they actually hide it in their closet because they want to make sure they have food for themselves, right? So, yeah, there's a lot of different levels of desperation out there. And we wish we could put 100,000 of these bags out, but frankly, you're into the multi-millions if you wanted to do this. This is why it's so important to serve families at schools. We do mobile grocery giveaways in 13 schools, and then to also affect their food intake with fresh foods in these mobile pantries that we go to and these agency partners. So again, you don't have to be hungry in this town. There's plenty of food programs. It's really just about that connection as well. So you can go to our website, www.threesquare.org, and you can find an agency partner in your zip code or in your neighborhood. We do Map the Meal Gap study. We did a census survey in October of 2013 and lots of data, over 250,000 pieces of data that we analyzed with our agency partners and our affiliated partners here in town. And what we really found was the average food insecure person can travel an average of 8 miles to get food. They're going to a food pantry that they've heard about, or maybe they think that pantry might give out better food. This is where we need to go into the neighborhoods a little deeper and say, listen, here's a little church on the corner that could probably serve 100 families every single week. So let's identify that church or that nonprofit group and put more food out. You shouldn't have to travel 8 miles on a bus with your kids to get food, right? I mean, we're not doing front door delivery service. We get that. But we need to get food into these neighborhoods a little bit better than what we're doing today. And again, awareness.
So a little bit more work on expanding the reach of the actual food items that you have available through Three Square. And as far as the summer feeding programs for kids, this is the time of the year where we really, really need the help. So if someone listening to us today on Talking Solutions and they're saying, they're speaking my language, we could really use some help. Summertime is hard. The kids aren't in school.
We'll probably have over 100 sites this year, but last year we were testing fire stations, because the kids have to eat, as it's called, a congregate meal. The kids have to consume the meal on site. Those are government regulations. We can't go into neighborhoods like the Ice Cream Man and hand out these meals. I wish we could. So the kids have to get together and have this meal as a group. They have to consume it there. It probably, takes 20, 30 minutes. And then we have site monitors or volunteers or paid stipend folks that go out there and do all this. We deliver to all these sites throughout the day, but it's tough sometimes getting kids to a site, right? I mean, it's hot. You're not going to let your small children walk to a site alone, especially in 110 degrees. So we need more folks. We need more groups, nonprofits, and faith-based groups to say, listen, I've got a church over here. I've got a building over here that I can put someone and administer this program. Give us a call, and we'll figure out how to get that connected. And here's the fantastic thing about all these meals. The summer meals and then the after-school meals that we do each year, over 2 million meals, that's reimbursable by the Fed. Flat out, that is paid for by the government. So every child that's food insecure, that can be paid for by our tax dollars. So we should have those tax dollars coming back into our area.
Sure. Why send them somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
If we're going to pay the tax dollars anyway, we might as well have them go to a good use right here at home.
Absolutely. But, we just try to get the word out and get a lot of people involved. And again, libraries, fire stations, Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, all these great places that are already serving kids. Those are no-brainers. We partner with them all the time. But we need to get some of these non-traditional folks involved.
If you are in need of the summer food programs, if you need to know where food is close to you, where a congregate feeding place is for the kids so that they can keep getting the nutrition during the summer that they need. The food thing is so important, and we need to make sure that all of the groups who can open up a place for people to get together to get the food, or if you need the food for yourself, for your family, if you need access, Three Square Food Bank can help you do all of this. Start at the website, threesquare.org, threesquare.org. I'll have all the links and everything on the Talking Solutions Facebook page, but that's interesting. I also want to note, Dan Williams, the COO from Three Square Food Bank, is with us today on Talking Solutions as far as things people can do to help, because I know we're talking about that last little length that we need to go to be able to really solve hunger here in Southern Nevada, and that it's very doable, which is very exciting. But people can help in a lot of ways. Food drives going on all the time. If you want to do it that way, if you want to donate money, fine. If you don't don't have those things, you can donate your time. It's so
Absolutely.
valuable. What ways can people help Three Square achieve this amazing food goal by volunteering their time?
Absolutely. We take volunteers 10 years of age and up. Individuals, groups, if you go to our website, threesquare.org, you can register as a volunteer, and then you have insight to our volunteer calendar. Then you just commit or insert yourself where it's convenient for you. Certainly, there's a lot of popular things to do in the food bank. One of the most popular is the kitchen, obviously. You're working in a production kitchen. It's a fun, friendly atmosphere. The radio's going. Everybody is polite and energetic. It's not uncommon to see 60 people in that kitchen working to pack meals. Very efficient process. We can produce about 2,500 fresh-made meals every hour. Again, there's no heating or cooking. We do what's called a cold prepared meal. So it's fresh and then it's consumed on site. We go to almost 200 sites every day, Monday through Friday, and we deliver these meals. We have coolers at all these sites, and then the administrators obviously serve the meal to the kids. So the kitchen is very popular. It's fun to work in. Each line will have 10 or 12 people on it. So you're producing meals, having fun. The backpack program, very, very popular. It's usually booked months in advance. Large groups come out all the time, 40, 50, to do this event. We pack twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we do a lot of mobile grocery giveaways. So we have to package all the produce and we have to package all the dry goods. We purchase all the dry goods. This is nothing donated because it's donor driven. So foundations here in Las Vegas fund that. Win Las Vegas Foundations. They have 2 foundations that fund this, very gracious to us. And they're really affecting education as well, because not only are we serving food at these schools, they're getting dental and vision and medical services as well.
Wow.
So when you talk about those volunteer activities, we have 13 schools that we go to every month. In fact, we have Nellis Air Force Base, Win Las Vegas, MGM has one, Bellagio has one. They adopt these schools. And they say, listen, we're always going to have 10 volunteers at these mobile grocery giveaways. It takes about 12 people to effectively distribute that food. We bring a driver and we bring a coordinator from our agency services team, but everything else is volunteer. So we can serve 250, 300 people in less than an hour. Very streamlined, very dignified experience. That's an off-site event. And you can go on-site, off-site. We do a lot of third-party events at hotels. I was just at Sands. They did a construction. The employees give back by donating their time, but they just went out and bought, I think, about 16,000 pounds of food from grocery stores here in Vegas and created these displays that were about the Venetian, obviously. And so I was a judge. All the food is donated back to us. So that takes volunteers. There's a lot of stuff going on site and off site. You're not going to be bored.
I think the main question is, I'm not even going to make it an option anymore. What are you going to do to help Three Square solve hunger? Because there are so many different ways to do it. Everybody can do something,
right?
From donating food to donating money to donating your time.
Go to our Facebook page and see what we're doing. Go to our website. It'll take you 3 hours to peruse that website. It's very comprehensive. But we want to get a lot of information to people, because when you have the right information, you can make a good decision.
I follow Three Square on Twitter, I'm just saying.
Right on.
I retweet a lot of the stuff that Three Square puts on Twitter. So
we appreciate that.
Anytime. It's hard not to get excited about everything that's already been achieved by Three Square Food Bank.
We're not done yet.
Things that are on the horizon and, so close.
We'll close the meal gap, but that doesn't mean it's over. We've got to maintain. But think about a community that is not food insecure. Think about a community that has hope and doesn't have to worry about where their meal is coming from. And if some reason, a lot of people are one paycheck away from poverty.
Sure.
So what if something happens? What if your car breaks down? Or what if you just need some temporary help? What is a community that helps you? What does that look like? When you start asking yourself those questions, then you should probably do the right thing and take the action that's needed.
When I think of Las Vegas as a whole, working together with Three Square Food Bank and solving this problem that is hunger and food insecurity and just making it happen the way that we can, that is such a warm feeling. I also know how many other areas it's going to benefit. We've talked about things from education, kids focusing and learning, to mental health. There are just so many benefits.
I get stories from board members of charter schools. We serve charter schools, state charter schools here. We've received reports that my child has increased energy because of the fresh food he or she is eating. That means they're energized. That means they're working on their homework at night. They're losing weight. They feel good about themselves. We don't have official reports reports yet, but we do have some verbal reports. The reports will come out later this year. But when we look at this mobile grocery giveaway we're doing in 13 schools, we're tracking data in collaboration with Clark County School District on the academic results for the kids that receive these services. Their academic achievement is outpacing the children who don't receive these services. It's exactly what it was intended to do. We've got to feed these kids. These are the future leaders of our city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're going to not pay attention to them now, we're going to pay for it later, and then we're going to pay for it in healthcare costs. So you might as well quit throwing away the food. Let's get it connected, and let's get people fed the right way. It's going to save everybody in the long run.
It's going to make us so much stronger. No question. I had done an event, was helping to publicize a group called Helping Our Kids. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. That actually helped with the weekend backpack program with the schools. And they were even saying the data that they had found about these kids who got the backpacks of food on the weekends, that school attendance on Friday actually increased because the kids needed to be there to get the food for themselves for the weekend.
That's a good point. You know, food is a connector, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really a portal to solving some of the other issues. So when we look at Catholic Charities and Salvation Army, they do so much for this community. They shouldn't have to worry about procuring food and purchasing it and where that's coming from. And this is why Three Square has had a great relationship with them, because we take that burden away. Now they can use their time to do their life-changing and life-saving work, right? So we'll handle the food, and then we don't do direct service. We don't offer those services. We offer food. They're doing a fantastic job every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big fan of a lot of the groups, and Salvation Army is right up there.
They change lives and save lives every single day.
They make this a better place to live.
Absolutely.
Hey, I cannot let us finish talking today without bringing up Restaurant Week.
Oh,
I love
we love
Restaurant Week. I love it. I go out every year. I find restaurants that I've never been to before, and I look at the restaurant menus, and there's so much information available. Restaurant Week to me is exciting, and I got to believe that this is a huge fundraiser for Three Square Food Bank.
It has been growing by leaps and bounds this will be our 9th installment, 9th year. We have a fantastic Chef's Council. I think we have 46, which is led by Elizabeth Blau, who has multiple restaurants here in town. She is a strong advocate for Three Square childhood hunger. She gets it. So she engages the Chef's Council and then the community here. And we will probably see a record number of restaurants this year, really because of her. So we hope to have 200. I don't have the official number because we're taping this about a week before Restaurant Week starts. But last I heard, we had 160. So I feel pretty confident. We will absolutely break the record this year of how many restaurants. This year, we combined it from June 15th through June 26th. So it's a 12-day event.
I love that.
Yeah.
That means there's a couple weekends in there for me to get
involved.
involved.
Well, actually, the way it works, we're going to start on a Monday the 15th. So you actually only have one weekend, but you have 12 days.
And it's my birthday weekend, so
well,
I could go out all weekend
right?
long several times.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will take you to lunch or dinner in Restaurant Week. That
you
is
are
my
good.
gift, right?
I tell you, this is so amazing. This is something you have to do.
And what it is, it's so unique here. Again, another unique city, but we're not on the bottom on the list. We're not 51 on this one, right? So we have a fantastic Chef's Council. We have great chefs here. We have great restaurants. This is a destination. Didn't used to be that way, right? So
I think Gordon Ramsay calls it a foodie paradise now.
Absolutely.
All of the big marquee chefs have restaurants in Las Vegas.
Bobby Flay's Mesa Grill, Gordon Ramsay. People come here to go to these places. We want them to spend their money on gambling, but they come here to eat. So when you look at Restaurant Week, people plan their trips around Restaurant Week. So we did one in the spring and one in the fall. This year, we kind of really listened to the chefs and said, let's do one 12-day event in the middle of summer. People come here from all over the place, and they'll plan every day around these restaurants. And these restaurants are, it might be a restaurant that you and I normally don't go to, or maybe even a tourist might not go to. But what they do is create a special menu, 3-course or more, at a fixed price point. So you can get a very elegant meal for a very affordable price, and then proceeds from that meal go to Three Square.
Yeah.
Guess what? We just turn around and buy produce with it.
That's right. You use it for amazing things. But the Restaurant Week menus, the way that it works, and I've been following it for a few years, so I know that all of the prefix or fixed price menus that'll be offered by all of these restaurants on Restaurant Week, which is longer than a week. I'm loving this news. All of them end with 15 cents. So it's either going to be maybe a lunch entree on low end, $20.15, could be $30.15, $40.15, $50.15. So it could be a lunch or a dinner at all of these restaurants. And the menus are already set up. You can go to the Three Square website at threesquare.org and look at Restaurant Week. You will see the logos and all the information about all of these amazing restaurants that are participating, stepping up to do this, creating these fixed price menus at these special prices. You decide said, wow, I've always wondered about Buddy V's at the Venetian. I wonder what they've got. Click on the logo. It will tell you exactly what's being offered. Is it lunch or dinner? What the prices are? What the items are on those fixed price menus? You can decide in advance what you want to go and eat. And that's what I do every year. And I love, too, that you're talking about people coming to town and planning around this. This is something locals. If you haven't done it yet, you got to get out and do Restaurant Week. I adore this event.
And when you talk about how can you give back, oh, you can give your time, but how about go to dinner, right? Dinner for two, take your significant other out. Not only are you going to get a fantastic meal, proceeds are going to go right to us. So if you don't have time to come down and volunteer or you don't have the means, go to dinner, go to lunch, go to breakfast.
It's a treat. It's a wonderful event. You will also see on the menus itself, and you can see it on the website as well for all of these restaurants. They have said in advance, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this item at dinner. It's going to be $30.15. It's going to be these items on the menu, and we're going to give X number of dollars to Three Square. This has all been figured out in advance. Dan Williams is with us, the COO for Three Square Food Bank on Talking Solutions. Dan, I had not noticed the $6 level until I was looking at it the other day. Is that new, or did I just miss that?
I think it's been around for a couple of years. So on a $50 meal, that $6 is going to come back to us. So, right now, $1 equals 3 meals. So basically, for every meal that you eat out, 18 meals are going to be put back into Southern Nevada. That's a big deal.
I go out with somebody else. We have dinner for two. We get 2 of those special price meals, and it happens to be at that $6 level. So the 2 of us having dinner and having a wonderful dining experience. And I feel so good making the reservations. And I do. I set it up in advance. Making the reservation to go to the restaurant, be part of Restaurant Week, knowing that it benefits everybody. It gives exposure to this restaurant that I haven't actually tried yet. Step out, have a great meal, benefit a great organization, knowing, and we were just doing the $6 example for that higher level. If we both did that and we had dinner, it would be $12 kicked back to Three Square, which you can turn into something like 36 meals just for us going out to dinner.
You're going to go out to dinner anyway.
You know I am.
So I know
I'm going to do it a bunch, right? I can't wait to do this.
And the restaurants really get into it. And then like you as a patron who is supporting Three Square, when you go to that restaurant, immediately ask, where's your Three Square menu? Some restaurants really get competitive about it, right? So we've had a lot of energy around that. It's really great to see when, your server knows it, the manager comes over and thanks you for giving back to the community. And again, this is together, right? This is more people coming together and doing the right thing.
I find that locals really like to talk to other locals. When we're in restaurants, especially places on Las Vegas Boulevard, and we're in a restaurant, we love telling people that we're locals.
Absolutely.
I also love it when, without even asking, because you were talking about the special Restaurant Week menus offered by restaurants, a lot of times on top of their menu that they set at your place is the special Three Square menu.
Yes.
So even before you open up their menu, they're putting the Three Square offerings out there first.
Yeah, they're doing the right thing.
This is going to be great, this Restaurant Week.
I think it'll be the biggest ever. When you think about in 2007 when it started, we had 51 restaurants. They did $20,000. Now we're talking up to 200. We've brought in almost $1 million since the inception of Restaurant Week. That's 3 million meals. So it is significant. It's grown a lot. Again, community coming together, raising the awareness.
I feel so good about this discussion that we've had today on Talking Solutions with Three Square Food Bank because we're finding out for the first time that hunger in Southern Nevada is a solvable, very close to taking care of issue. It's a problem that doesn't have to be a problem. So many different pieces that come together. Procure the food, distribute it the way that we need to more than 300 food banks in our area, and take care of people who are food insecure. This is a solvable problem. I didn't used to think it was. I always thought that we would get kind of close, but it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't. I grew up in a grocery store. So I was food insecure as a kid. I didn't even know it because I didn't know the term. But I grew up in a food insecure household. There wasn't food in my house. So when I went to work for the grocery store at 17, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of food here. I'm in good shape. I'm never going to go hungry, right?
That's actually, yeah. If you didn't have a lot of food around when you were a kid, be like, wow, where could I go work? Grocery store.
Grocery store. Everybody's got to eat, right?
Yeah,
so
great
I was
idea.
going to go into the hotel business. That didn't work out. And then I was going to buy real estate. So yeah, I didn't have the vision that I needed, but I did get into the business that I'm in today. And again, there's a reason for it.
It was meant to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my calling.
You're in the right place. Dan Williams is COO for Three Square Food Bank. I just feel good about this, and I hope that if you have been able to spend time with us today on Talking Solutions, that you realize that hunger is a solvable issue in Southern Nevada, that there are so many things that every single one of us can do to help, be it donating food, donating dollars, volunteering your time, or all of the above, and go to Three Square Restaurant Week at so many restaurants, looking like maybe 200 restaurants by the time this is up and running. And Restaurant Week is the best. If I can put my stamp of approval on anything, I'm going to tell you, go to Restaurant Week. You will have an incredible experience. The meal is that much better knowing that it does so much good.
Yes, absolutely. Good point.
3square.org is the website. If you need help, if you want to volunteer, if you can provide a site to help disseminate some of these meals for kids during the summer months, there's a lot that we can help with, and this is something that is fixable, and that's why it's so exciting. And it's so great of you to come in and join us today. Dan Williams, the COO from 3 Square Food Bank. You come in and see me anytime with news like this.
I know where you work now. I will be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and I'll see you at Restaurant Week.
I'll be there.
Talking Solutions is a production of the Community Relations Department here at Beasley Media Group Las Vegas. Get more information on today's topic on our Talking Solutions page on Facebook, where you will also find links and a podcast of today's show. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.